Welcome back, guys. Chris here, Colville South Farm. So, got the excavator fixed this week, guys, and they started stumping again. So, that's going along well. Biggest problem is we've had a lot of rain the last few days, and it's turned into a giant mud bog. So, I haven't been able to keep up with the tractor near as much, unfortunately, just because of the mud. So, today, we had some rain this morning. We've got a little break in the weather for about 2 hours, and then it's supposed to rain again this afternoon. So, we're going to take that time, and we're going to do the 100-hour service on the John Deere. It's got 98 hours, so we're doing it a couple hours early, but we have a break in the weather, and I know I'm going to be using it again tomorrow and most of this week, so now would be a really good time to get that service done. So we're going to change the engine oil, we're going to change the hydraulic filter, and then we're going to check, we're going to do one thing I didn't do at 50 hours, which was check the hub oil level. I just never got a chance to do it, so everything else for the 50-hour was done except for that. So we're going to pound that out today. We have all the filters we need. Have our oil filter here, have our hydraulic filter. We don't need to change the hydraulic oil, just the filter. And then we have our engine oil. Not going to quite use that much. It takes 2.38 gallons, and this is basically 3 full gallons. So we're going to have a little bit left over, which is good. Never a bad thing to have a little left over. So anyway, guys, we're going to fire up the tractor, let it warm up a little bit. We'll move it over closer to the barn here, and we'll get going. All right, guys, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to check the oil level. As you saw, I used the loader to actually lift up the front wheels and spin them to where the oil level line is leveled out. So I'm just cleaning up, and we're going to grab a 1/2-inch socket, or I should say a 1/2-inch ratchet. We'll pop that out, make sure the level's good, and then we'll do the other side. Then we'll move on to the next thing. We're going to pop this cover open. Other side we checked already, it's good, and we'll check this side. Oh yeah, we're good. Well, basically, you're just checking it, make sure some oil leaks out. And we definitely got some oil leaking out, so we're in good shape. All right, guys, so got the right size wrench. We're gonna pop the drain plug and drain the oil out of the engine. Then we have to go around the other side. We're gonna have to remove one of the guards by the looks, and we'll pull the filter. All right, there she is. We'll let that drain out and then go over to the other side. We'll try to get the filter off without pulling the guard, but I think we're gonna have to. All right, guys, so here's the filter right here, and you can see there's a guard right there. We're gonna try to pop that and see if we can get it off if there's enough room, but we may have to move it. I haven't changed oil on this thing yet, so this is kind of our learning experience. So I'll set you guys down and we'll give it a shot. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to remove the guard for sure. We may have to remove this electrical thing here too, because that is right in the way where that oil filter is. So let's grab some tools and we'll take that guard off. All right, guys, so we were able to get this electrical box here moved, and we got the guard off. So now we can actually grab the filter, we'll loosen it, check it here. We might have to get a different tool, we'll see. I don't know how tight. Oh boy, that whole thing just spun, didn't it? Oh boy.
All right. Gonna have to get something to hold that, I think. Let's try it again. Uh-oh. Let's try this. Oh, come on. There she goes. Yeah, the whole filter housing moves a little bit, but we did get the filter to move, so I think we're in good shape. It's definitely very tight. Oh. Okay. I'm gonna grab something to try to catch the oil. It is gonna make a bit of a mess, but fortunately that is what it is. Wow, it is actually bending the tool, believe it or not. That is how tight this oil filter was put on. I have to say, that's not cool. Literally crushed it to death. Let's see if we can... There she goes. Yep, way too tight. Alright guys, well, we got it somewhat loose. Definitely a real pain. I got a drain pan underneath it, but seeing how this sits where it does, it's going to be very difficult to not make a mess. Hopefully. Yeah, drain pan seems to be in a good spot. That's good. And here's our filter. That whole piece is actually a little loose, which is kind of odd. It's gotta be, must be the oil cooler. That is strange how that just kind of sits on there. Hopefully we won't have an issue. I haven't seen something quite like that. Aha, that's the issue. Okay. So the bolt that holds the oil filter on is loose. According, apparently, yep, it is. So we're gonna clean this up good. I don't want to get any, and we'll torque this down to whatever spec. We'll have to look that up online for our oil cooler here. But let's get this all cleaned up real good. I'm sure there's a gasket back here. Yep, there is. And we'll get this all clean, and we'll pop this oil filter back together. This oil cooler. That makes sense why the whole housing was spinning a little bit. So I'm gonna run in, grab the right tool for this, and we'll go from there. We'll get the new one, this tightened back on the way it's supposed to be, and get the new filter on. All right guys, so got the correct size socket to tighten up this oil cooler. And there we go. Give that a nice snug. Should be good. Hopefully we won't have any leaks there. And now the manual, there's some debate whether you should pre-fill or not pre-fill an oil filter. Generally speaking, I do not pre-fill them when they're on an angle like this. But the John Deere manual actually says to pre-fill the filter, so I will try to pre-fill it as best I can, even though it is on a horizontal, and get it in there as best I can. So we'll fill some up here. We have our filter right here. Fortunately, my pocket knife is being used by someone else. And then we'll pre-fill some and lubricate the gasket for the filter. And once we get it on there, we will also mark down the hours, which I checked. I was actually a little off. It's we have 99.6, so we're basically at 100. Pretty darn close anyway. So we'll get this pre-filled and installed. Well, pre-fill it as best we can. Ooh. Okay, that kind of made a mess, which is what I was afraid of. But we did get it pre-filled about halfway, I would say. And now we'll try to get it on there without losing too much. There we go. Okay. And we're losing it. That's the problem with pre-filling these horizontal filters. You end up losing half what you just put in by the time you get it screwed in all the way. Alright. There we go. Get this good and hand tight. I may actually snug it a little, which I don't like to do with a wrench, but I cannot get my hands on this very well. Well, it might be all right. Let's try it. All right, guys, so filter's all back on here. Now we just gotta put our stuff we moved out of the way back on, which is this piece to start with, and then the guard here. This back on, and then we'll look at doing the hydraulic filter, and that should wrap up our first 100-hour service. And obviously we do have to add some oil. That would be a that would be a bummer, and that would be a good way to ruin a tractor real quick. Run it with no oil. We'll actually do that next as soon as this guard is back on. We'll fill the oil, because that's right here. And it'll probably actually be a little easier to fill it before we put that guard back on. So, as soon as I get this bolt in, take care of that next. We did have to put the strap wrench on the filter here and tighten it just a little bit. I couldn't really get a good grip on it to get it really hand tight. It's just not in a good spot. So I don't like doing that, but I also don't want to see leaks. So we didn't tighten it up too much. We just basically did it till it stopped spinning easily. All right, let's get some oil in our grill here, and we'll get that other. All right, here's our oil. We'll try that there. Okay. See where we're at on the dipstick. We still got to put this guard back on. I'm sure the dipstick is not yet showing much, but we'll check. Ooh. Well, actually it's showing good as it drains down. So we'll let that settle for a bit, and we will move on to the hydraulic filter. All right, guys. So we're going to get this one ready to do quick. In my experience with these hydraulic filters in the past, they will make a mess. You will lose quite a bit of oil, so you want to try to flip them quick, since we're not actually changing the oil, the hydraulic oil in the tractor. So we're going to get this one off and have this one all ready. We're going to use a little lubricant on the seal there, and yeah, we should be good to go. Let's hope this one is not as tight as the last one. If it is, then we are going to be in trouble. Oh, yep. What I was afraid of. All right, guys, so this part is not going successfully. I shut the camera off because there was a lot of working words said. We actually broke our strap wrench. That's how tight this hydraulic filter is. Couldn't budge it, so I'm gonna have to run down and see about picking up some kind of heavier duty strap wrench so we can try to get this. So I'm going to run down to the hardware store and I should be back shortly. We'll give this another shot. All right, guys, so we actually ran down to hardware store and got a large size filter wrench, which I didn't have, and it worked. It pulled it off. Had to grunt and groan a little, but we got it. Shows, you know, the perfectly right tool, which I was using the right tool, just with that filter being so big, it really needed a filter wrench. So anyway, it's raining out now. I was able to get that finished. We checked the oil. That was actually good. We were perfect on what we put in. We didn't lose too much hydraulic. Actually, we were lucky. We basically just lost what was in the filter. It didn't really drain out other than that. So that's it. 100-hour service is done on the 5075E. And we'll be working her tomorrow. Hopefully the weather's going to be a little better. We can get up and start moving some stumps. We got to do a little digging for some people tomorrow. So yeah, that's maintenance, guys. Unfortunately, with the rain, I did not get a chance to weld up the grapple. We broke the other side of the brush grapple broke, which I wasn't surprised. The welds are pretty thin, so we'll have to maybe do that tomorrow when the weather's better, and get that finished. But anyway, guys, I think I'm going to end this one here. And like I like to say, if you like these videos, please subscribe, hit the like button, and leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. And just remember, it'll be all right.